I'm Guy Mackenzie, and here I am backstage in Torquay at the Prince's Theatre, and on my left I have a very young looking Roger Newell, but then he always looks young.
Guy,
Roger,
lovely to see you again.
Good to see you too, Roger, and thank you so much for coming.
My
to
pleasure,
talk to me.
always happy to talk.
You probably don't remember this, but I first met you in the 70s, you know.
Did you indeed?
Yeah.
It was you.
It was me, yeah. It was me. That's thrown me already. it was me, yeah. And I remember you stood in with a band I was playing with then, and I just remember you as being a very good bass player, but you'd just come off tour with Rick Wakeman, if I remember rightly. And how many years did you tour with Rick?
Well, I toured with Rick 74, 75 and 76, so good 3 years. And during that time we did Journey to the Centre of the Earth, Missing Legends of King Arthur and all the other stuff. We did the Listomania soundtrack for Ken Russell, and we also did No Earthly Connection, so 4 albums then. But of course, subsequently, I think I'm on about 13 now because of compilations and live stuff that's come out. But yeah, a very interesting time with Rick. Between yes and yes, we say.
Between yes and yes.
The first time, yeah.
That's a good way to put it. But tell me about something that really interests me as well, and that was that wall triple neck bass. What was the story of that?
Well, the triple neck is kind of a special thing because in a way it's got a life of its own.
Yeah.
Rick came up with the idea of having something quite amazing, and he said, you know, perhaps we should have a 3-neck bass, you know. So a friend of mine was Wall, and he built he'd built one bass, a short scale one, for a guy called John G. Perry,
Right.
who played in a band called Quantum Jump.
Okay.
And they were pretty damn good, and it was rather nice, and it got this tooled leather scratch plate. So I spoke to Wall, and he said, well, what do you want on it? So I said, well, in the middle it's got to be a standard 34-inch scale bass,
Right.
similar to a, you know, so sort of felt, the neck felt like a precision.
Yeah.
Which is what I was playing at the time. And I said, I'd like a fretless, would be good, but I said, I'll need to know where I am, so can you put fret lines in it?
Okay.
So he said, yeah, we can do that with a lighter wood. So I said, that sounds good. And I said, I'd like an 8-string bass.
Okay.
So he thought about that for a minute, and he said, I think it's going to be unwieldy. It's just going to be too big, too massive. You know, I don't think it'd be playable. He said, it would look better if we had a short scale or a guitar on the top.
Right.
So I said, well, let's go with the guitar then, you know. And he was right, because he did some rough sketches. We designed it on his kitchen table. It was like, you know, he'd draw something, and I'd go, oh, that's horrible, I don't want to play that.
Yeah.
But then, so we ended up with an ordinary 6-string guitar on the top,
Yeah.
which used Telecaster pickups.
Right. Okay.
We used the middle bass, which was the standard bass guitar. We ended up using Mustang pickups on that because they were smaller, because we actually had to make the neck slightly narrower at the top. That actually became the standard Wall neck, the one that, and we designed it so that I could just get my hand between the necks.
Right.
So however I played, he measured all that up, and that's what gave it the sizes. So that thing is completely made for me. In all the early Wall basses, and I pick them up, it's like I've got a custom made neck on all of them. You know, it's really weird. But bearing in mind that this is the first full-scale bass he'd ever made.
But Roger, what happened to the wall bass? I mean,
well, that's
where
kind
is
of
it
a
now?
sore point. The last time I heard, it's on the walls of the Hard Rock Cafe in New York.
Okay.
But of course, what happened when Rick folded the band up, he gave me, he said, you know, you want the triple neck, so I said, that'd be great, you know, thinking he was going to give it to me. And he said, well, you can have it for £1,000.
Right.
And so I went, well, so, and I'm out of a job, bear in mind, you know, he's going back to yes, you know, so I said, I can't do that at the moment, mate. So anyway, so it got left. The next time I saw it, and of course subsequently I spoke to Chris about it, he gave it to Chris Squire to use because he needed something that he could play a Wakeman on, which of course was the biggest track on Going for the One, which is the first album they redid after Rick rejoined.
Right.
And but Rick gave it to Chris.
Oh, did he?
Yes. And Chris had the guitar bit changed to a 6-string bass, but with just octave pairs. And the fact that it was short scale didn't matter. So
Well,
that's where it went. And so it's up on the Hard Rock Cafe wall as Chris Squire's triple neck. But bless him, Chris Squire, in the latter days of his life, always called it the Roger Newell bass.
Well, I'm pleased to hear that. So, Roger, it seems to me that you've probably been with the Wildcats now since nearly 25 years.
More, 27.
27, is it? My goodness, yeah, it shows.
Man and boy. Almost.
Yeah, man and boy.
Yeah, man and man.
Man and man. Well, and so what happened between perhaps finishing with Yes and the Wildcats?
With Rick, yeah.
Or with Rick, yes.
All sorts of things, really. I moved, because suddenly I had to get a job because I had a family to bring up. And just doing the odd gigs wasn't enough. I moved to Cambridgeshire, and because I had a day job there I could do. And very soon I got involved with a girl called Sue Lynn, who was very big on the college circuit. And she was just basically going out and just playing piano. But she had a semi-operatic voice. She was a bit like Kate Bush, but it was more. It wasn't so distinct. It was a beautiful, soft, melodious voice. And every time she played, I could hear a band behind her.
Right.
And they saw me play somewhere, and we got chatting. And she said, "Would you be interested in doing some sessions?" And so I said, "Yeah, sure." So I went round to their studio, and I kept saying, I can hear a guitar here, something like Alan Holdsworth in here, and they going, "Really?" Yeah. And so anyway, we got some people together, and we were very lucky. We found this guy called Simon Ward, who was a university student at the time, who could play like Alan Holdsworth. Okay. And so we started to, and the more we did, we started to write together, and we expanded on some of her stuff. So that was really good. And then during that time, when I was playing with her, we did a charity gig one night, and the top of the charity gig bill was a band called Trucks, T-R-U-X. Right. And Eddie Allen, who's one of the guitarists in the Wildcats, was in that band. We got on really well, and a bit later, after the Sue Lynn thing finished, for all sorts of different reasons, not musical, I would tell you, but we lost some of the guys, and it kind of lost the essence, you know. So I then joined Trucks, and that kind of morphed over the years, and then Eddie stepped for Newell, who's still in the band now. Neville's been in 33 years. Good heavens. And so Eddie depped for him one night, and Marty liked that, and he said, "Why don't you just join the band?" So the Wildcats at that point were 3, and then Eddie joined, so they had 2 guitarists. And then to cut a long story short, they needed a bass player because the regular guy was going away for 5 or 6 weeks. Eddie phoned me up and said, "Would you just step in?" So they sent me a tape. It arrived on Thursday night, and the first gig was on Friday. It's the usual thing, you know. And just gelled with them, and then Marty offered me the job permanently. Okay. And really, it's been like that ever since, hasn't it? Yeah. So what's planned for next year, Roger? Are you going to be touring with the Wildcats? Are you going to be doing something different? These tours we do approximately every 2 years. But next year it is Marty's 60th year. Isn't that incredible? So in the business, so it would be good if we did something. But if we do something like that next year, it might be a mini tour. But we always do one-nighters, whether they be holiday camps or theatres. And the good thing about theatres is we get to do a few Wildcat songs as well. Absolutely. Which on this we just get one blast on Diamonds or something. Okay. Just before I let you go, and thank you so much for talking to me. Absolutely, my pleasure, Guy, anytime. Let me just reintroduce you to my Super Sound. The Super Sound. This is the oldest known surviving
solid
Look at me
electric
amazed,
bass.
people.
Yeah, and for those people who don't know, Roger has actually written this one up in Music Radar.
I did, yeah, the online site, and yeah, we had a lot of fun with it. And what's amazing is it feels good, and obviously it's got flat wound strings on it, which it should have. It does still feel good after all this time, and it's actually pretty true, isn't it?
It is.
It really is. I mean, it's fully playable. I'm not playing it right now because this is my rest time.
Well, thank you for taking time out, Roger.
Absolutely,
Really
pleasure,
appreciate it. And looking forward to the show a bit later on.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks,
Do enjoy
Roger.
it. My pleasure,
Good to
guys.
see you
Nice
again.
to see you again, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye bye.